afternoon. Okay, so maybe let us introduce ourselves a little bit. So, okay, I am Shirley, a type designer who run HRF type. And then this is Karina.
Yeah, I'm Karina. I represent Grab and I'm her client.
Hello everyone again. I'm Richard and we work together on this project. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So today we are going to bring you guys through a little bit of a behind the scene process and also from a client's point of view in this collaboration. And also we have a survey chat on the Khmer. Okay, so our topic is about Grab community, which is the name of the Grab typeface, a custom typeface as a brand building tool. So this is our topic. So I will bring you guys through some little introduction for the rebranding. So first, we will talk about from MyTeksi to Grab. So actually, the whole branding process is there's like two phases. The phase one is the rebranding in 2015 from MyTeksi to Grab. So maybe Karina, you can tell us like why MyTeksi need to be rebranded. Yeah.
So back in MyTeksi started out in Malaysia as a local taxi hailing app. And then very quickly in a few years, they expanded across Southeast Asia. And in some markets, actually originally MY stands for Malaysia. So when the company expanded to other markets, Indonesia, Singapore, they called it Grab Taxi. And particularly in Indonesia, the biggest market in Southeast Asia, the service that was most prevalent was Grab Bike. So if you see all the billboards in Jakarta, for example, you will see the logo Grab Bike. And that was a bit of a problem because the branding was kind of all over the place. You were MyTeksi in Malaysia, Grab Taxi in Singapore, and then Grab Bike was the pronounced brand in Indonesia. So then the company saw a need to consolidate everything and to just call it Grab.
Okay. So that is the reason why they need to rebrand. And then I remember there's one day Karina just called me like, hey, you want to help us explore this logo type? So I said, yes, why not? So I went in, they already have their initial sketch, which you can see here on the, yeah, this one. So the double line is basically based on the route of the line, yeah, because it's transport. Then I explore a lot of explorations. Then only we have the one that you see, this one, yeah. So, yeah, before we proceed, I have a quick question for Karina. Because I'm just wondering, because the MyTeksi logo and branding is very different, like it's more like icon-ish. And then Karina, why do you decide to depart? It's like so far away from MyTeksi. Like,
So I think first thing, when they designed the MyTeksi logo, it was probably done by an intern. They didn't have money to hire a proper designer. But more seriously, I think we evolved it mainly because we kind of knew that the company was going to expand and, beyond ride hailing, if we were going to do like food delivery, if we were going to go into restaurants, if we were going to go into payments, that symbol becomes a little bit clumsy. So I think like logo type would be the way to go, and also it's more modern. It signals the company evolving as well.
okay. And then from the logo, I start to draw some letters that derive from the logo. But that time, Karina didn't require any custom type. I just draw for fun. And also, I don't even remember if I showed this to her. And then from here, we developed a set of super graphic for the Grab identity, new identity. We call it like freedom lines because yeah, it's moving like very freedom. And so this is how they apply these freedom lines into the Grab identity in 2016 and 17. So everything is looking good and strong. And during that time, they don't have a typeface yet, but they just need a solid typeface for their sub-brands, like for example, GrabPay, GrabFood, GrabCar. And then after 3 years, they are facing some problems. So I will let Karina to describe what kind of problems they face that eventually lead to custom type solutions.
So as illustrated in the slide before, where you see we started to expand the business into different things, right? And I think every single head of the vertical, let's say head of GrabPay, oh, can you give me my version of the identity? I want a different freedom line, a different expression of the freedom line. The GrabFood head, oh, can I have mine? So, we started developing, if you see at the top part, like we expanded the freedom line into, let's say, tire tracks for GrabCycle, into like Wi-Fi, lines for GrabPay, and then to food aroma lines for GrabFood. And if I can go to the next slide.
Okay.
And the identity started looking like this. But, all of these services can only be found in one app. And we knew that that was a problem. Also, given that, like Southeast Asian design generally, and we have lots of promos, so the layouts also have many, many components. And, we kind of knew that this was a problem, and we wanted to re-establish the brand as a single app, not like many, many different services. So when we looked at all the work, we realized that the one common denominator is the typeface, or at least typography within the layout. So if I can remove the super graphic and use the typeface as the identity of the brand, it will also help clean up the layout.
This is another problem.
Yeah, just showing like how fragmented the brand became eventually.
Yeah, they started using different typeface because before that they used Sanomat from commercial type. Yeah, because Karina liked Kristen Schwartz a lot. And yeah, and then when they need a custom type, they cater to all the Southeast Asian scripts, obviously. Yeah. So now we went into the phase 2. So we need a brand refreshment, and we need to come out a custom type solution that solve all the problems that we mentioned just now. So now I will show a video that you can take a glimpse like how do we develop the custom type from the logo type. Okay, so this slide to show that at the beginning, before we settled down for the inline typeface that looks like the logo, then Karina made me explore like a lot. So here you can see many different types of inline typeface. Like there is thin double line, there's like stencil, there's a mixture of solid lines, and there's even shadow. Yeah. But then eventually we settled down for something similar and closer to the logo, which is this kind of double line. And then to make the custom type more ownable for Grab, I'm trying to look for some sort of essence. Like for example, the logo, there's the ligature and the connection idea inside, right? So I'm trying to make some special ligatures for the typeface. And also playing with variable fonts that maybe show the connection. But then soon after that, I think this ligature ideas is very good idea. But after that, we facing a problem, which this ligature will appear everywhere. That is too frequent, and that is kind of disturb the reading process. because it even appear on the words that's not important. For example, this better than luck, like it appear on the then, yeah. So, okay, so Karina have this brilliant idea we only apply this ligature on the grab related keywords. So we get the copywriter to come up with a list of grab related keywords in different languages like English, Bahasa Indonesia, and even Vietnamese also. So these ligatures will only appear at the important keywords. Yeah. So this is how it looks like. Yeah. Like for example, freedom and change is a more important words for them. And now we enter into the Southeast Asian scripts. So this typeface also developed into Thai by Cadson Demak. And then, yeah, you want to say anything?
Sure. Well, what do you want me to say?
I don't know. You want to
It's a good font. It's a good font. And we love Grab. Is it good enough?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it was a roller coaster ride, I guess for everybody, right? For tape as well, because we are like in this complex script. And then when you have to do the inline,
yeah.
that's a pain in the butt, as you can imagine, because it's kind of go against our writing system.
And we had to like go back and forth between the local team and the
Right.
team in Malaysia, and everyone like try to get what is like the most workable way, the functioning way.
Yes,
like
yes.
this.
Okay, get serious. It's a big challenge because we have all this tone mark, and when you do inline, apply inline on those characters, it could be like really confusing, especially if you know Thai, sala e, sala e, sala u. That's a lot of problem there. So we have to kind of like scratch our head doing it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It was very challenging and it was fun. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you. And then we have Burmese.
Oh, can I say something? Actually, I'm not the one who's doing it. The team at Cadson Demak is, including Pompan, probably Pompan, Boom Pompan is the one who's kind of like being a headlight on this.
Yeah, thank you. And then we have Burmese by Mausang. He's not here. And then we have Khmer by Anagata Sophie
Yeah,
Chan.
so this slide, I think it would show another aspect from the previous question about the loop and the loopless and the modernity of Khmer script in type design. So this typefaces, I try to go like to the extreme direction to like the most modern Khmer typeface ever created, but then we have to take a few steps back, because when we try that extreme way, like because I learned that when I was working with Cadson Demak, I learned the process or this process how to think in type. So we try to pitch and try to work with the client and like finding the way that would work together for not only for the modern reader, for the new readers, but
The middle ground.
Yeah,
the middle ground for every generation, because as you know, Grab is it's a super app, so it's actually in our daily life and it's touch on every generation. So we have to kind of be very concerned about that.
And when we are saying like loopless is a simplified form, but this is not a simplified form. This is like the complex loopless, like for the Khmer script itself. So when we are talking about Khmer script, it's not only about the loop. There's one particular things about Khmer script is the hair. So you can see here the circle highlight is the hair part.
The hair is the top part.
Yes, the top part basically. So we have two parameters to decide when designing a Khmer typeface, either to do loopless or either to do the hairless. Most of the character has hair, and then we can try to combine all together, or we can omit either one. So we were trying to do like this kind of modern, like without the hair for most of the case, but then we try it out with local team, and then they try out with the real users, and we found that it's not really readable enough for most of the people. So that's why we try to go back and forth. In a positive way, trying to understand each other, like in what way that we can collaborate and we can try to find a good solution for this typeface. So that's why this is our result from the discussion. And there is one point if you are looking here. So basically, if you are looking at the I don't think it's working. So if you are looking for at the Khmer script, there should be some like the join and some like the downward here around the hair, like here, like here. So at first we were trying to do like the straight line, like the straight hair connection ligature over there. But then we found that when we were trying to put like a long line text, it seems like it's like too flowy. It's like everything just go too straightforward, and it's like not really distracting, but doesn't make it like
too many horizontal.
too many horizontal lines. So that's why we try. Maybe we can compromise this a bit, and then adding some conventional form to make it look more readable and legible for the readers. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then this is another things that we try to play around. But when it comes to the other typefaces that we did for Grab, the solid style, it worked without the hair. So it's like some kind of decision here. So yeah, so this is like a two perspective when designing a Khmer typeface, like the modern loopless and hairless Khmer typeface altogether. Yeah.
I have one question for you too. Is the ligature idea works in Thai and Khmer?
Not really in Thai because we don't really have ligature. So that's why we have to be really concerned about when you have something like look like it's going to be connected.
Oh, okay.
So because it will be hard for a reader to kind of like set each consonants apart or all the components apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Same answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Here is some applications of the Grab visual communication. So this is for the main brand that you can see in different kind of medium, like there's like in the interior, and then you can see on the stage behind Anthony Tan, and on the card, and also how the typography interact with the image, with the person, and also how the typography work as a pattern behind the handphone. Yeah. And this is some new Grab's cousins. Yeah, maybe I will let Karina.
So I think Shweli asked me before, like, how did you convince the company to pay for their typeface?
Yeah, because in
That's
Malaysia,
a golden question. Yeah.
So I think in Southeast Asia, you don't find many companies who are willing to invest. And I think this is one of the reasons. So Grab, being a fairly big company, we do invest in other companies as well. So you can see now that as we invest into other businesses like the DG banks, we have one in Indonesia and one in Singapore, and they are using our typeface. So, GXS is a bank in Singapore, a DG bank in Singapore, and we actually engaged Pentagram to work on the visual identity. But the one parameter that we gave them was use our typeface. We don't need another typeface. So I think, all in all, it was a good investment on Grab's side.
yeah, good to hear. But
it's very interesting because like you just mentioned that it has to be like company this size like operate regional to have this kind of they have to have this kind of thinking now. I mean for whatever company that's going to emerge as a regional, so they probably have to start thinking about multiple script, like Southeast Asian script, for example. And of course, when they commission them all at once, it saves a lot of time too, and it's a lot of headache.
Yes.
Yep.
But the reality is like that. I mean, after we type designers create a typeface, spends like a lot of time and efforts, and then usually the application will end up like that, especially in Southeast Asia. Karina, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, so, the earlier slide that we showed you, we had problems with the different graphics. So even though we tried to narrow down the components that, designers could use across the region, they still had their own interpretation of how do I use the typeface. So I think, for me as the head of creative in Grab, I think if we invested the money and we meant for the typeface to be the identity of the brand, then I think it's important that we also look into applications. So we are in the midst of cleaning it up. I wouldn't say it's the best, but at least there's some improvement in terms of consistency. And I think we will continue to ensure that Shirley and all your hard work will be displayed in the best possible way across.
This one, I would like to talk about the working process between me and Karina, because we have been knowing each other for 20 years. Yeah, but I mean, we collaborate. I mean, we just collaborate like the recent 10 years lah. Okay, so this is Karina's favorite type designer, Kristen Schwartz, and also her favorite typeface. You want to tell us what does this inspire you?
So when I look at this typeface, many years ago, Shirley invited me for his talk. And then, I was really inspired by two things. One is the Guardian typeface and how the thinking that went behind designing typeface for editorial design. And then I started stalking his website, and I found this. And I thought, oh, this is really nice. And when I joined Grab, Grab being I guess in Southeast Asia, a very rich, culturally diversified region in the world, I thought, oh, maybe it's very nice for us to have different kinds of typeface. How do we evolve the inline typeface into something else that represented the richness or the diversity of Southeast Asia? So then I bounced this idea of Shirley, and we started developing other typefaces.
Yeah, the way we work is usually Karina will tell me what kind of problems they face or what kind of typeface they need. So, for example, one day Karina called me that she said she needs something corporate because the current solid typeface it doesn't look corporate enough because it's very friendly, very rounded, and maybe a little bit too young. Yeah, too fun to have a corporate voice. So she needs something corporate. So I say, okay, then let's do a serif typeface. Then she also needs something else more expressive for campaigns because they do a lot of different campaigns in the Grab. So we make these two typeface as a new styles, display styles, and then I already draw mostly all the character style, the character sets, and then then Karina thinks that, oh, this is not Grab enough, because for the layman's eye lah, not for type designers, because when they look at it, there's no double line, so people will immediately recognize it's Grab. Yeah. Sorry. And then okay, then we add two lines in, the dots become the dual dots. And then the serif, we explore something like serif inline. Yeah. So for the serif inline, the iteration process is a lot of rounds. Actually, it had been 1 year, and then she just approved the design recently.
Is this a complaint?
No, exactly. No. It sounds like she's venting.
I enjoy very much. This is like the first sketch because I already draw the serif typeface in all the way. So I'm thinking, okay, I just take the serif and then I put the line in between, so it looks like that. But Karina, you want to tell tell us your comment.
So I think when I saw this, the typeface on its own, I think it's fine. But when I think about it from a brand perspective, even though we wanted something a bit more corporate, a bit more serious, but the Grab personality or the feeling of the brand is still kind of casual, modern. And when I saw this typeface, I thought that it didn't have that same spirit. So then, we went back to the sketching board again.
And then I tried to explore different ways or different thickness of the inlines to make it look more contemporary, but we still think it's kind of dated, yeah, and old-fashioned. And then after that, I tried a lot of different kind of inline with.
I didn't ask her to do that.
No, it's not a complaint. I really enjoy it. Like with some different kind of details, and but it still doesn't feel quite right? Yeah. And okay, I'm thinking that I should throw away all my sketches and start from scratch again. Okay, and then here I managed to explore something like slab serif kind of inline. Yeah, so what do you think?
So like she said, after 1 year of exploration, I think this is the right one. If you look at, and I think you can see it now, right, with the comparison that, if we went with the middle one, it wouldn't have been the right tone or spirit.
Yeah. Then I also explore something thick and thin thickness just to see, yeah. And also even suggest her to make variable font, yeah, so I can make like 2 styles. And every time when whatever sketch that we make, they will take it and test it in all kind of applications, from the big banner to like small like Google banner, to make sure it works in every medium. Yeah. Okay, so that's all for our sharing Q&A.
Hello again. I have a question for Karina. Okay, before I get to the question, I just want to say that Grab being in Cambodia has really pushed, better design sensibilities onto like the people that work for them. We have friends who are vendors, for photography and videography for Grab in Cambodia. And, working with Grab, they've seen the brand guidelines, all those design collaterals, and they're like, oh, I want to enforce it for my other clients as well. So, first of all, thank you. And thanks for paying us. Okay. So the second thing is that, being a creative director, you're obviously in the middle ground between working with the creatives and all the stakeholders of Grab, right? So can you share a bit about, the process of facilitating this shift in identity and trying to keep everything consistent all across the different regions? Like, what is it like to get buy-in from all the stakeholders? What is it like trying to communicate your ideal vision for the new identity, and how do you manage your sanity while trying to keep everything consistent all across different countries like this? I'm very curious.
I wouldn't say that, we've actually done like a great job at maintaining consistency, to be honest. But I think on a very fundamental level, for me, every design choice that any of us make has a reason for it, like what you shared. And I think the way to get people to execute it in a consistent way is to get everybody to understand why, how the typeface is designed, why certain choices would be made, what is the spirit of the brand, and why do we lay it out a certain way so that it is consistent. So I think the only way to get buy-in is to be more purposeful in the design choices that we make, and to be able to, I guess, cascade that. So I think a big part of it is governance, and I would be the first to admit that we are not 100% great at governance, but that's something that we're conscious about improving on.
Thank you. But by far, I think at least you're moving things forward in a meaningful way, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Any questions? Yes?
I heard that Malaysia is a really multicultural country, and I heard that there are a lot of, for example, like Chinese-speaking, like groups of people in Malaysia. Will there be a need for Grab to expand their typography design into maybe, for example, like Chinese or something else as well?
I think I've asked Shirley before, and she's like, let me finish the rest first, okay? Chinese is complicated.
Actually, I do draw some Chinese characters. I did show. Yeah.
But the answer is yes. Yeah, we are looking at exploring expansion of that language as well.
Do you normally advertise in Chinese as well in Malaysia?
Not so much in Malaysia, perhaps a little in some parts of Singapore, but we also, there's a lot of traveling that happens into Southeast Asia, and there are a lot of Chinese tourists, for example. So we do run ads in China, and that requires Chinese characters.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Yes, one. Can you tell us more about the process of co-designing the font, like where the Thai and Cambodian font developed concurrently, and how you communicate if you don't know how to read Cambodian, for example? How would you co-design those fonts?
Yeah, so because I'm non-native, so that's why I recommended the native type designers like Savichat to design the Khmer and Cadson Demak to design the Thai. But then at the beginning, I do coordinate among them a little bit, and then after that, I let them settle themselves. Yeah.
I think a project like this, we have to build on trust. And as Christian Schwartz, when he's give a lecture here, I would say like, how many years ago? His first visit was like 14 years ago. He didn't touch on this subject, like, okay, have the native execute the font. That would be the best way to kind of like ensure that the final product will come out and it's gonna look kind of like friendly or suitable with the local. Yep. So it's a business that's built on trust and credibility, I think. Yeah, right. As Shirley said, that based on the experience that we've been working together, so we know what kind of product we'll be going to bring to the table.
Yeah, so maybe just to build on the point about trust, I've never met the two of them before, and but I've worked with Shirley for many years, so I trust that she would select the right people for the project. So a big part of it
Did
is
she?
trust. Yes, she did.
Okay, that's it, I think. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.